Good afternoon and welcome. Welcome indeed, yes, to another edition of the Mark Mosey Show podcast. As always, broadcasting from the Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Take back control of your life. Call them today, 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. It's Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys. And I will say this also, and we'll get to here to Coach Mims in a second. Especially, look, New Year's Eve is coming up tomorrow night as we're broadcasting and recording this. Hey, drink responsibly. You can have fun on New Year's Eve, but if you need to get a cab or Uber, go do it again. Drive responsibly, be okay, and live for 2026. All right? I can't stress that enough. Now, let's get to this fine gentleman. I call him Coach Mims. He is world-renowned. Yes, Billy Mims. We had so much fun going to the Magic Nuggets game over the weekend. Coach, how you doing today?
Oh, man, it's strange morning, right? You get up here in Florida, and it's cool for a change. Yeah. It actually feels like winter. Now, I know I feel for the folks in the Northeast. My daughter, Callie, lives up in Connecticut, and they had like a mountain of snow this past week. But I feel for the folks up there in the Midwest where they're under snow. But, I mean, this is Florida, okay? This is land of sunshine, orange juice, beaches, bikinis, not cold weather, okay? And it's a little nippy cold this morning.
All right, I want to go over this story because he's now a meteorologist for some reason. I like it. I do. All right, so I've known Coach for over a decade, and he loves European basketball. He coached over there in multiple countries. So if you've seen Coach on the show before or you follow him on social media, he's constantly hyping Luka Doncic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, but he loves himself some Nikola Jokic. Can't get enough. So he's constantly, love me the Joker. Love me the Joker. And yes, as we're recording this, Joker did hurt his knee last night. We'll keep you posted on that. In a game last night, they lost to Miami. So I have told him constantly, we got to see the Joker play. We got to see the Joker play. So last week I'm in my office and I look at scheduling for different teams. And I saw that Denver is going to be in Orlando last Saturday night. So I texted him, Mr. Mims here. Hey, make sure you have Saturday open. Because I never know what the holidays, what people's schedules are like. You never know. You're like, yeah, I'll be around. I said, make sure you keep Saturday open. So you didn't know what was going on. So I did all this stuff behind the scenes where I was like, look, I want to come cover the game. I got to bring Coach Mims with me. Coach helps me out. We do a basketball segment every week. We got to bring him. He said, no problem. So when I called you up on Christmas Eve, this was the best. I know Santa came to your house down the chimney and got you a lot of great gifts, but Uncle Mark gave you the phone call you needed. And this phone call was like, I texted, hey, call me. It's important, right? Like I'm in the hospital or something. No, call me. You called me. When I said you're going to see Nikola Jokic play basketball in person, I could hear the excitement in the phone. You were so hyped. And I know your family probably gave you other gifts. Oh, no. No gift was as good as that. It was. So what I loved was I've known you a long time, and I've seen you coach before. And we've watched games on television, but I've never got to experience sitting by you at a game. And I feel like we should do a giveaway contest where I feel like every basketball fan should get the opportunity once in their life to sit by you to watch a basketball game. It is awesome. And the fact that, and this is what I really want to bring up, this fact of usually when you're around basketball, you've been a coach for a long time and you're going to be a coach again. So there's always this pressure of, I got to get ready for the game. I got to make sure rotations are ready to go. We have the scouting report. Are we going to get enough rebounds? Are we going to score? And then as a college coach, you're constantly in the back of your head. I got to call this recruit. Got to make sure I got this. Got to talk to the administrator. Got to talk to these boosters. Constantly. There's this thing. So you always have this pressure and weight on you. What was great about this experience was all that was gone. You didn't have to worry about any of that stuff. So you're walking around. You're like, Mark's taking me to the game. Oh, we get to go through this special entrance. Ooh, I like this. Okay. I'm not with the civilians, as Mark calls them. I get this. So you're at this like special entrance. Then we're sitting before the game. We're watching the teams. We're watching them like do their thing, warming up. You like watching that. You were talking to Coach Brian Hill for a minute. You're talking to Dante with the broadcast team. Then I go, hey, let's go get our pregame meal. Ooh, I like this. So we're eating some nice roast beef, mashed potatoes. Then we go for the game. Oh, you loved it. And the other one I loved. So we're watching the players warm up. We're watching them warm up, but your brain's still thinking about recruiting. You're still in recruiting mode, even though you don't need to. So coach sees Aaron Gordon, and you're like, oh, man. Oh, you're like, look at that upper body. Oh, man, I need one of those guys. You like the look on your, oh, man, watch Jamal Murray dribble that basketball. That was one of my favorite moments because you've been recruiting for 30 years, looking for the best players possible. So when you're seeing these players, oh, look at Desmond Bane. That's an NBA body. I love that. So, dude, it was a pleasure and an honor, a privilege to watch a basketball game with you. So thanks for coming with me on Saturday. I want to tell you that.
Mark, you're right. It was an absolutely awesome Christmas present from you. So first and foremost, thank you. I mean, I've seen a lot of NBA. Look, I've coached, over 1,000 games myself, almost. God, I probably, if you throw in my time as an assistant coach, early in my career as an assistant coach in the NAI and NCAA Division I, I've probably sat on the bench for 2,000 games in my career. So that's a lot of basketball courtside, close up to the action.
But you're working. But this is the difference. You're working. That's what I'm trying to tell people. When I go do an event, right, and there's all these fun things happening, I'm working. I'm bringing you entertainment, okay? So there's this pressure to make sure everyone's happy constantly. When you coach, you got to go win, right? And everyone there, they're not showing up spending their money to get embarrassed and lose. So that's what I'm saying. Like over 1,000 games you have coached, there's this, and you love it, but there's a pressure. So it's this different, like, hey, I like this. Hey, that's all I'm saying.
Totally different. But you know what I was going to say, though, is that because you gave me a unique experience, right? A very unique experience. One, I'd never seen Nikola Jokić play in person. And I do believe right now, I know this is a very arguable point, but at the moment, he is the best all-around total basketball player on the planet because of everything. Look, he's had 5 straight seasons that are NBA MVP seasons, right? 3 of which he actually won the MVP, 2 of which he was probably robbed from the MVP. I mean, he didn't win it last year, and he put up the best numbers in his career, right? So this guy right now for the last 5 years, maybe even the last decade, his entire time in the NBA, he has been doing things we've never seen before. So he's in the conversation from here on out as part of the GOAT conversation.
And you saw him. You
saw him live. So that's number one. Number two, the unique experiences you gave me. First time, now I've done some media. I mean, look, I even have my Sky Sports shirt on today.
Yeah, you did.
I've done some media work in my time, calling basketball games, as you say, working the game as a color commentator. I've done a studio analysis work for Sky Sports for NBA games in Europe, sitting in a very posh studio in West London, late at night.
I know. The time difference, it's like 3:00 in the morning.
You go to work in the afternoon, it's still daylight. You're there all night long. You walk out after the game and the sun is up. There are people on the street going to work and you're like, what happened to my night? But the second thing was unique experience. You gave me a different type of media look. What the people covering the game, actually at the game, writing the stories about the game, doing the podcast about the game, doing the next day's television about the game. So you gave me a real unique experience. And those two things made it so special. Getting to see my favorite player right now, the best player on the planet, Nikola Jokić, play live in person, not just watching him on TV, not listening to other people talk about him. You and I got to talk about him.
Yeah,
that was fantastic, Mark.
What was funny was sitting by Coach Mims is I didn't need a stat line. Like, you get it where there's a TV monitor, right? You could see all the stats in real time, but Coach is just like for Joker, rebound. That's another assist. There's a layup. That's an and one, another rebound, right? Just like you're just calling them out as they have, because you've been around basketball so long, but you're still amazed. Like, is this guy, is he an AI robot? What is he exactly?
Hey, you know what's funny? And we must have been talking when this happened, right? Because the one thing we didn't see live, I saw all over social media this week, right? Joka he took 13 free throws in the game. He was 12 of 13 at the free throw line. He missed one, right? Do you know what he did on the one miss? Did you see it?
What?
On social media this week, I saw it going viral, right? The one miss he had in the game, he missed the free throw. The ball came right back to him, and he stepped forward and tried to head it into the basketball, like playing soccer, like playing European football, which I'm sure he played a lot of when he was a young kid, right? Before he became a basketball player. I'm sure he played football, soccer in Europe at some point. In the middle of an NBA game, in front of a sellout 19,000 plus crowd, the Joker gives us the Joker. He tries to head the ball in. Now, unfortunately, his header just missed. But boy, I thought it was going to go in. And that's why it was all over the internet. Look at this great basketball player. And he even takes a moment of a serious game and tries to soccer head it in the goal.
No, but you can make it. There's more to the story. You're forgetting a part. Remember, in the second half of the game, Chick-fil-A had this promotion. If an opposing player misses 2 free throws, you get free nuggets or something. So he missed that first free throw, and 18,000 fans are all thinking, miss this shot. So you talk about pressure. Forget about playing the FIBA World Championships or the NBA Finals. This is why he's going to the Hall of Fame. He didn't miss that second free throw. I'm Nikola Jokić, future Hall of Famer. I'll show you, Orlando Magic crowd. And he hit that shot. When he goes to Hall of Fame, they're going to show that clip right there. That's what it is. Okay. So funny. Dude, he was worth the price of admission.
Oh.
And the thing, all right, you get the stats. The thing that stood out to me was he never lets you go on a run. Usually in a basketball game, teams go, hey, we're on a 13-5 run. Hey, 7-2 run. Hey, we're going to go up pace. We're going to push it. We're going to go 19-7 on a run. Oh, no. You don't get that because he dictates pace of play on both sides of the ball. I don't think that gets heralded enough when you look at the Joker play. It's amazing.
Oh, I agree completely. I think he's got such a great feel for the game. He's redefined what it takes to be a great basketball player, how to play the game, right? And part of that, and then you see Luka Doncic doing this as well. You know, everybody talks about play with pace now, play with pace. I actually think you should control the pace of yourself and the pace of the game. And Doncic and Jokić control the pace of play better than any two players on the planet. They play with a different pace. Neither are the most athletic player on the court. Neither are the fastest player on the court, yet they find ways to produce numbers and to win games. Look at this. Jokić had, again, in this game, a triple-double. We got to witness, and he's the triple-double machine. No offense to one of my son's former favorite players, Russell Westbrook, who is the all-time leader, right? In NBA history, he has more triple doubles in his career, over 200 triple doubles in his career than any player in NBA history. And Russell's getting to the end of his career. He's starting again, but then again, look where he's playing. You and I might start there too. No, just kidding. But he's starting. He's putting up triple doubles again. So he's extending his triple double record. But he might get caught, again, depending on the injury status of the Joker, The Joker's having the kind of year that you expect him to have a triple-double in every game, right? Well, the game we saw him, his triple-double put him one triple-double away from number 2 on the list, the legendary Big O, Oscar Robertson. So one more game, which might have been last night in Miami, because at the half, he already had ridiculous numbers, like 21 first-half points against the Heat. He had, I think, 7 or 8 rebounds and already 5 assists. He was on pace again to have an incredible triple-double, lead his team, missing 3 starters, like NBA All-Star starters, missing them, and still carry his team to a win. And the crazy thing about it is, Mark, his injury last night happened with like 3 seconds to go in the first half.
I like you got to walk by him as well, because television does not give it justice. I've had this happen to me a couple times, like where Joel Embiid's walked by me, and you see like when these guys are 7-footers, but then they're over 300 pounds. You're like, what? So that's what's funny. Like, he's in the paint and you're going to dribble penetration to the rim. You're like, oh wait, no, I can't. This guy is a monster. He clogs up the rim. That's what's it's so crazy. Then he gets the ball. I know we're a bunch of fanboys here. He gets the ball and he's running the point in transition. He's 7 feet tall. It's so wild, dude.
Well, you make a great point there, Mark. When you and I were younger, right? And there was this famous guy out of Lansing, Michigan State's own Irvin Magic Johnson, right? All of a sudden, he redefined the point guard. Magic Johnson was 6'9" and running, showtime for the Los Angeles Lakers, right? Magic Johnson ran the show. And all of a sudden, people are saying, why is the ball in his, oh my God, this guy's 6'9". He's playing point guard. That was sort of the beginning of the transition. And then people look at LeBron James bringing the ball up the floor, running the offense, playing what you would term an old school point guard position, because he's at the top of the key with the ball. He's bringing it up the floor. He's initiating the offense. So we've seen it change over the years. But I don't think anyone's seen as great a change as Nikola Jokić, because he's not just almost 7 feet tall. He's a mountain of a man. That's the thing that gets you. I've coached a lot of tall guys. I coached tall Paul Sturgis, at the time the tallest basketball player on the planet. He was 7'8", weighed 315 pounds, wore a size 23 shoe, right? I know what big looks like, right? Or what tall looks like. Jokić is different. I said something to you courtside. You picked it up a moment ago about Aaron Gordon, right? I've seen Aaron Gordon play a lot, but until you're really standing by him courtside, right on the court, 5 or 10 feet away from him, you don't realize how big his shoulders are, how massive that upper body of Aaron Gordon. And you said, yeah, and he jumps like a pogo stick going to the rim. Yeah. But he has what you call a real NBA body, an NBA body. And Nikola Jokić doesn't have an NBA body. He could be Andre the Giant. He could be in WWE, I mean, you could take a guy like that and make him the mountain man in Game of Thrones. Yeah. He is a mountain. I coached the mountain man too, Ian White, and he's 7'2" tall. So I've coached some big guys, but never the full body size, height, weight, girth, width of a guy like Nikola Jokić. He takes up space. I'll tell you, can I go off of one funny story here for you?
Yeah, go for it.
I coached a player in England one time, right? And this kind of makes me think about Nikola Jokić a lot, right? I coached a player for the Leicester Riders named Billy Singleton. Billy Singleton's from New York, played for St. John's University. He was an all Big East player at St. John's. So one of their all-time great players, tremendous post player, inside player at St. John's. Now, Billy Singleton was probably 6'6", 6'7" tall, but he was probably 6'10" wide. Okay. And I remember when I was coaching a player named Robert Youngblood in England, in London.
Great name, by the way. Just
Robert Youngblood, the blood. Yeah. He's from Alabama and played for Southern University for Ben Jobe when they made it to the NCAA, one of the smallest schools to make it to the finals of the South Regional in the NCAA tournament. They lost to the North Carolina Tar Heels in a close game in the finals of the South Regional in Atlanta, Georgia. Otherwise, we might have had a real Cinderella in the Final Four that year, Ben Jobe and Southern University.
You have so many stories.
But let's get back on point here.
Okay.
I asked Robert Youngblood a question one time because he was a great player. He's a professional coach in Europe now, assistant coach with the London Lions in the European Cup. And I asked Robert, I said, Robert, who's the toughest player you've ever had to guard? Now, mind you, he played against J.R. Reed in that game in Atlanta in the regional, right? He stopped J.R. Reed from North Carolina, did a tremendous defensive job, and he's guarded hundreds and hundreds of NBA players that have played in Europe. So I'm like, Robert, who's the toughest player you ever had to guard? And you know what he said?
Right.
Billy Singleton. I said, Billy Singleton? Billy, you know, he's non-athletic. Billy couldn't jump over a paper towel on the court, let alone a basketball. And I've never seen Billy Singleton dunk the ball, right? I said, he was a tremendous player. Billy had great hands, great vision, great passer. And he was the first guy, you know, Jokić gets full court assists now, right? He'll get a rebound. First thing Jokić does, look to the other end of the court. And he'll throw it on a dime if somebody's open down there. He'll get a full court assist. Doncic does this. I coached an American from New York, Billy Singleton, that if you made a basket, he would take it out of the net, step out of bounds with 1 foot, not even both feet on the ground yet. Step out, look up, baseball pass to the other end, layup, assist. But Robert said, I said, so why was Billy the toughest guard the toughest player you've ever guarded, you've ever defended? He said, Coach, you couldn't get around that ass. And it was because he was wide. I say, Billy was 6'7" tall, but he was also 6'7" wide. And then, you know what? I've never fully understood that statement from Robert Youngblood until I walked close to Nikola Jokić. He's not just tall, talented, strong. He's wide too. Upper body wide, lower body wide. You talked about him defensively in the paint, guarding the basket, taking up space. Wherever he is on the court, he takes up a lot of space. That's what makes him. His talent is one thing, but his body is not the typical NBA body. He's a wide body. You know, if he were going down I-95, you'd have to put a sign on the back saying wide load.
We're here with Billy Mims. All right, here's the other thing for kids where, you know, you're trying to practice. Let's say you're in junior high, you're in high school. Hey, I want to get good at basketball. We were talking about this courtside before the game where you really see this with shooting. That pass to a shooter has got to be at their hands where their elbows are up, ready to shoot. Every pass has. So this is the NBA. This isn't the YMCA at your local church, whatever you're going to say. This is the best of the best. Those guys practice all day where that pass has to be perfect, where they catch and release. Mm-hmm. It can't be by the knees. It can't be left or right. Perfect shoot. And you were like, yeah, you got to make sure if you're at this level, you got to be shooting ready. Those guys practice all day because those windows are small. And I mean, a window, is there an opening to shoot? Those guys got to be ready, right? And they got to shoot it. And it was interesting with like Jamal Murray, his body, he's constantly at weird angles. I don't know if I agree with it all the time, but he's practicing shooting at these weird angles. Yep. Is that something you notice as well? And I always see this at games. Hey, that ball's got to be in their hands, ready to shoot at all times.
You make a great point again, Mark. They're about the catch and shoot. In the NBA, it's all about timing, right?
Yeah.
You don't have time. You can't play in the NBA if you can't get a shot off in the NBA. So again, if you have to reach down at the floor to catch the pass and bring it up to shoot it, you won't get the shot off. I laugh at people that say, well, I don't like the NBA. I don't watch the NBA. I watch college basketball. I'm like, why? They're like, well, there's no defense in the NBA. And I want to go, what? There's no defense. It's the greatest defense on the planet. Watch NBA teams against any team in the world. The advantage they have, they may not always shoot it as well as another team from around the world, European team or somewhere fundamentals are stressed. But the NBA defends. They pressure the ball. They put people in people's faces. You got mountainous athletes coming at you with a hand in your face like a freight train at you, right? They defend. So you don't have time to get a shot off. When people say the NBA doesn't play defense, they forget they're guarding 5 college All-Americans every night. Like if you watch a college basketball game, you might have to defend one guy on that other team, one guy that might make it to the NBA. You're not guarding 5 NBA players in every college game. But in the NBA, you're guarding 5 college All-Americans every night. So the best of the best. Defense has to be unbelievable. And you're right. For offensive players to shoot the ball in the NBA, it's about timing. They got to catch and shoot. And it has to be a perfect pass, a pocket pass, right in the shooting rotation, right in the form. I'm catching it, I'm shooting it, right? I'm not grabbing it. If I have to catch a bad pass in the NBA, a bad pass equals no shot. And you know what that might, or no shot, or a bad contested shot with the shot clock running out.
One more from the game. And we're here with Billy Mims. I appreciate coming on. I know it's New Year's Eve, whatever today is, the 30th. So what was interesting standing by you watching the game, the coaching strategy of, you have X's and O's, but more of the Jimmys and Joes from the standpoint, all right, we saw a game where Anthony Black dropped 38 points. He was the hottest player in the game. There's 48 minutes in an NBA game. He played 30. So Coach Mosley and his staff, they had to figure out how many minutes are we going to have him on the bench as we sacrifice that, and then when are we going to put him back in the game? Just like we saw with the Joker. Joker sat out, but then when do you put him back in the game? I'm fascinated by. I'm usually thinking about players. Hey, that guy's only got 15 points. He needs to get to his season high of 24. I need that. I'm always thinking that way. But that is the hardest part where, okay, how much can I rest this guy before I put him back in? That's what and then you're juggling. All right, this guy's making $45 million a year. I can't piss him off. I got to make sure he gets his touches at the same time. Because you were very big, like, all right, because I told you, second quarter was the worst quarter the game we saw. It was terrible basketball, but because they had to rest people were not playing. Do you look at that as well as a coach for over 30 years?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm not a big fan of what they call load management. Now the catchphrase in the NBA where they sit a guy out on a whole game. And they say over 82 games, we're resting this guy. I agree with Charles Barkley. They got to play 2 to 3 games a week. They're elite athletes. They're getting paid millions and billions of dollars to do this. They could play 82 games, okay? I'm not a fan of that aspect of load management. But I believe night in and night out, you've got to be conscious of load management during the game. You can't play Nikola Jokić 48. You and I said this, right?
Yeah.
Jonas Valanciunas. The reason he was such a good signing for the Nuggets, it allowed them to rest Nikola Jokić more in every game he plays. Last year, it's a 48-minute game. Jokić was playing like 42 to 45 minutes a game, okay? And he had a great season and all, but maybe you lose some games because he's playing too many minutes. And maybe he still has a great season because he's such a talent, but your team doesn't win as much as it could win because you're overusing that talent. And you might lose 4 or 5 games because you used him too much. And 4 or 5 games in the NBA might be the difference in winning the championship. So bringing in a guy like Jonas Valanciunas, to spell the Joker more, to rest him more is critical. So that's one thing you look at. And I got to rest certain players. I can't overuse certain players. The other aspect, and you were good at this, I noticed you kept looking at their plus minus.
Yes.
In my system, we call it, it's game efficiency. We call it a TER, team efficiency rating, because we also have a GER, a game efficiency rating. Game efficiency rating in my system as a coach, always with my pro and collegiate teams, a game efficiency rating, GER, you don't see that in an NBA stat sheet, but you can figure it out really quickly and you'll see some impressive numbers. What that is attributing a plus or minus to every stat across the line, to every shot you take, every shot you make, every shot you miss, every turnover, every stat. Offensive rebound is worth +2, defensive rebound +1, made 3 +3, made 2 +2, missed 2-point shot -1, missed 3 -2, missed free throw -2, made free throw +1. Missing free throws matters. Make it count. So you've got all these things. And at the end, you take every statistic an individual did and turn it into his test score for the game. Does he get an A for the game, a B for the game, a C? +20 and above, usually an A performance, right? So that's what a GER, a game. The NBA and most teams around the world on their stat sheet now are putting a plus minus, which is a team efficiency rating, right? Because what that number says to people who don't know, if you look at a stat sheet, an NBA box score, and you see plus minus, okay, in that game we saw Nikola Jokić had a +16. That was the best. That was the best.
Dude, you're not kidding. Because I know you have it in front of you. So a normal human being, it's like +2, +4. A good game, +5,
Well,
-5, -2. And then when I saw 16, oh my God,
well, you're making a great point, right?
Oh.
So I'm looking at that and going, you know what that stat means? It means with Nikola Jokić on the court, if you only count the scores of the game, that Jokić is in the game, they were 16 points better than the Magic. That's what that stat means. Okay? If you have, now look at their same lineup, right, from that game. I brought my stat sheet along. This is what's so interesting. We just pointed out that Jonas Valanciunas is great because he lets them rest Jokić. While he was on the court, he played 9 minutes and 59 seconds. While Jonas was on the court, his plus minus was -17. Oh, so man. The Magic were 17 points better than the Nuggets with Jonas Valanciunas on the court. What that says to you is and they won the game by 1 point, right? Well, Jonas was -17. Jokić was +16. Where's that 1 point come? While Jokić was on the bench, right? Now, that goes back to saying you can't play him 48 minutes every night, but it does break down and show you the value of a player on the court for you. Every moment he's sitting out, right, you're losing some of that value. I said to you at one point in the game, remember this? When we were going, why is Anthony Black still on the bench? Why is Mosley not brought him back? Why is Anthony Black sitting on the bench? They're playing, he's having the game of his life, and he's sitting out his critical time right now. Why is he still on the bench? And the answer to that question was probably, again, in Coach Mosley's mind, right, is I've got to play this like a little chess game here. I need to see when we can get him in to be most efficient for us, okay? He had a great game. He had 38 points in 30 minutes. You know the most amazing stat that Anthony Black had in that career night? Everybody's going to look at the 38 points in 30 minutes, right? He was also that night, let me see if I got it right here. I think I do. That's saying, like, let's see, Anthony Black. Yeah, he was 7 for 11, Mark, from three-point range. 7 of 11, right? Those are 14 of 24 from the floor. Daunting shooting numbers, right? But you know what the most impressive statistic? In 30 minutes of handling the basketball, 1 turnover. The difference in the game, you talk about watching the game as a coach as opposed to watching the game as a fan. The fan sees the 38 points. The coach sees ball management, control of the game, one turnover. I don't believe the game was won and lost because Jokić had a plus 16 and Valanciunas had a minus 17, right? I believe the game was won and lost because for the game, the Denver Nuggets had 17 turnovers in the game. The Orlando Magic only had 8 turnovers. Ball possession is why they won the game.
Okay, here's the update, because the show must go on, right? This is very key. The Magic went to Toronto last night. After we saw them get this big emotional win by 1 point against Denver, they're in Toronto, okay? They're there. I'm trying to bring this up on my phone. Wow, this completely screwed up. All right, hold on. I love I'm recording, and then the phone just decides I'm insane. Okay, wait, hold on. All right, here we go. So it's all right. You played great for one night. You got the 1 point win. That's awesome. But then you got to keep going. It's a marathon, not a sprint. They go to Toronto. They have I believe, a 10, 12-point lead going into the fourth quarter, and they blow it. They lose by a point, 107-106. And the game's on the line. And I told you this at the game at the Kia Center. Paolo does not look right. He is supposed to be the centerpiece of this franchise. And what did he score? 8, 10 points? He didn't do anything in this game. He comes back. Here's what he does. 38 minutes, 23 points, 15 rebounds, 10 assists. He had that. He had the ball in his hands with the game on the line. I don't know if you saw the clip last night. They're down a point. 5 seconds ago, he has the ball. And this is what you want. He's your star player. Give him the ball. What's he do? Takes a lazy 3. This is where I get frustrated. You're in what, your 5th year in the NBA? That's what it feels like to me. 4th or 5th year for Paolo. You need to go to the rim. You are 6'10", 250 pounds. You've got a triple-double. You almost had 30 points. 1 point, you're down. You don't need a 3. You don't need to take the 3. If you want to be a superstar, go to the rim, get contact, go for a bunny shot. If you don't hit it, get to the foul line. What do you do? I know it's a brain fart. He's done this before. Dude, I am the biggest Paolo fan. Go to the rim. All right. What are your thoughts on that final possession?
Well, I agree with you there. Completely agree. It's a 1 point basketball game. You're down 1. If you go to the rim on a play like that, you got so many more possibilities. There's 3 possibilities. 1, you get a better shot attacking the rim, right? Than you might get from a fadeaway 3 that's contested. You get a better shot attacking the rim. You might score because it isn't. You might get wide open, turn the corner, get a layup, if you go to the rim. Second thing, you might get fouled. You might get fouled shooting that shot. You're attacking the basket. I always believe that teams that shoot the most free throws and that shoot the most, make the most, usually win games. I look at 2 stats being real keys. Did you shoot more free throws than the opponent? Did you out-rebound the opponent? Now, here's what's interesting. The game we saw the other night, the Denver Nuggets kill the Magic on the glass in the game we went to, right? I'm looking up like last night right now as well, and the rebounding totals last night were pretty good for the Magic last night. They dominated. They had 37 defensive rebounds last night, 15 offensive rebounds in the game last night. And if you look at,
it's in the 50s to 50. It wasn't,
but they got destroyed on the glass against Denver, right? Here's something else you compare about the 2 games, the last 2 games the Magic played, right? I look at the end of the Denver game in Orlando. They're up 1. Denver has the ball, right? And they inbound the ball. Jamal Murray inbounds the ball to Nikola Jokić, right? I would have done it at that point in time. I don't care how many millions they're paying Adelman to coach, right? You got to make one simple decision at that point in time. You got the ball into Jokic's hands. He's the best player on the planet right now. You've got seconds, 6.6 seconds left or something like that. You got seconds left. You don't need to mess around. Get out of his way. Clear out and let him go one-on-one. That's what I expected to see Instead, the Nuggets inbounded the ball to Joker, and immediately he hands off to Jamal Murray. Jamal bobbles the ball and then takes a contested shot. No chance to win the game. Not a very good look, not a very good shot, not a very good play, not a very good decision. Simple. You want to go simple basketball? Get it to the best player on the planet, get out of his way. And then I think last night that might have been the intention with Paolo Banchero. Get it in his hands. He's supposed to be your best player. He's had a good game, like you said, almost a triple-double. Put it in Paolo's hands, get out of his way, attack the basket. Try to get a better shot, a better look, try to get fouled, try to get to the free throw line, win the game on an attacking shot or at the free throw line. And third possibility, you attack the basket, defenders collapse, right? So if you don't get fouled, if you don't think you got a great look at a shot, now if everyone's collapsing to the lane, you can kick it out to an Anthony Black who might have a wide open, uncontested three.
It's interesting. We'll end with this. It's funny you bring that up. So the Magic played back-to-back games. They're up one, and Denver takes a dumb three-point shot to end the game. The Magic, the next game, they're down one with the ball, then they take a dumb three and lose the game. That's fascinating to me. It is. And here, all right, here's Anthony Black. All right, so he had the 38 career high. He comes back, and this is very encouraging if you're a Magic fan. 32 minutes, 27 points. All right, only 3 rebounds, 3 assists. But hey, 38-27. He was the 6th pick in the draft. He's in year 3. Okay, maybe we got – so this is what I'm saying. And this is the problem with the Magic. They're never healthy at the right time. The key is for them, once we get through the Super Bowl and once we get through the Daytona 500 and once we get through March Madness, can this team get healthy at the right time? Because if you think of a rotation in the Eastern Conference, you have Paolo, Franz Wagner, Jalen Suggs, who you were talking to after the game, Anthony Black maturing on the court. You have all these guys. And we haven't even brought him up, Desmond Bane, who is such a great veteran pickup for them. Hey, there's a basketball team. There it is.
Look at this. You and I had this comment the other night during the game when we were watching the Nuggets game. Jonathan Isaac came off the bench, and what a lift he was for the Orlando Magic. In the game that you and I saw, and I said to you, I said, I hope he can stay healthy. Jonathan Isaac has had injury, health issues again and again in his career. But the other night against the Nuggets, he was also a big factor in winning that game. Not by the number of points. People are like, well, coach, he only had 5 points in the game. But we go back to that plus minus. Jonathan Isaac played 10 minutes against the Nuggets off the bench. Guess what his plus minus was? He was the highest plus minus for the Orlando Magic, plus 17. In 10 minutes that he was on the floor, the Magic were 17 points better than the Denver Nuggets. Now, mind you, some of those minutes probably were with Nikola Jokić on the bench as well.
Oh, yeah.
But still, when you can be an impact and have a plus-minus efficiency of double digits on your team, you've got good depth. I think you're right. The Magic need to get healthy. I mean, come on. Jalen Suggs, Franz Wagner, both of those guys are superstars in the NBA right now. I'm sorry, okay? They're both guys that are in the mix, in the talking. They can have the kind of year every year now that they could be in the all-star mix, okay? They're potential all-stars. So when you look at Anthony Black starting to play night in and night out, hey, we said that Paolo Banchero, the Duke connection, the 3 Dukies in the starting lineup.
You love that.
The Duke connection, okay, Paolo might be their best player. When they drafted him, they certainly thought he was going to be their best player. The way it looked the last 2 nights, Anthony Black might become their best player. Who's to say he won't become a 6'7" Allen Iverson? He's playing like that right now, okay? He was that kind of player as a rookie at Arkansas, and everybody knew that this guy was going to be an NBA talent. I think he's coming into his own at the right time.
I had a lot of fun with you. And I try to tell this to people. You like your brain can't comprehend if you're a fan, where it's like, all right, you're at the game, you're watching the game. Then imagine after the game going right up to the players and coaches. Like, right. I mean, because you're a former coach, you'll coach again. You know, you've been around thousands of players. It's this weird. If you're an average, I'm trying to say this in the nicest way possible. Let's just say you're a sports fan, right? I'm an average NBA fan. I go to these games. I love it. I don't know if your brain can comprehend watching the whole game, then going to talk to them and asking them whatever you wanted. Like, it's too crazy sometimes. All right. I'll let you go. Thank you so much for coming on today. I hope you have a great New Year's with your family, and we're going to talk a lot of basketball in 2026. All right, buddy?
Hey, Mark, number one, thank you for an incredible Christmas present. What a day it was. I actually went with one of my daughters, Callie. She gave me a present because she knows I love the movies. So we went to see the movie David, and it brought back such great memories of going to see movies like that. Feel good, great stories, messages of heroism, you know, and just positive feeling movies, right? I went to in animation. I don't go see animated movies anymore. It reminded me of going to the movies, you know, with my children when they were little kids, watching Disney animated films. You know, you came out with a good feeling and a good message. Callie took me to see David. And what a great motion. It should be a Broadway musical. The music in that movie is unbelievable. So we had a great time there. I come back from that, change clothes. I go with you to see my favorite sport on the planet, NBA basketball. I get to see my favorite player. Thank you, Mark, for making my Christmas and that day such a special day with my daughter and with you that day. And Mark, I guess the age-old saying now, see you next year.
Yeah, great stuff.